welcome! It's Nikki of Nikki's Homemade Crafts, and today we're going to do part 1 of the No-Sew Mystery Crochet Along, and I'm so excited to make one full quick pattern today. First, let me tell you about the giveaway that we're running, then the pattern and where you're going to find the written information as well as the material list. You have 4 different ways to be able to win something, and each of the 4 ways has 3 winners each. Let me break it down really quick right here. The first way to win something will be to sign up for this No-Sew Mystery Crochet Along. All you have to do is sign up and you're already set and ready to go, because I will draw 3 winners from those who sign up and put their name, full name, and email address into the sign up box. Number 2 would be for you to comment on these video tutorials. We have 3 video tutorials. At the end of each video tutorial will be a question to answer, and you're going to leave that answer in the comments, and then I will pull 3 winners from that. You have to do it for all 3 videos though, so make sure you do that. Number 3 will be for you to finish the 3 quick mystery crochet along patterns. Even if yours looks slightly different, as long as there's no yarn hanging off or it looks unfinished, you are good to go. Make sure you post it with the hashtag that is provided for you in the pattern, as well as the email and of course this video, so you know exactly how to qualify for that. And the 4th way would be for you to show up at the No-Sew Crochet Party at the very end, which is this Saturday, April 19th at 12 o'clock Pacific time. So you answer some questions there, and you also have a chance to win something. For all 4 ways, we're going to have 12 winners at the very end, and they're all going to be announced on April 19th for the No-Sew Crochet Party. So you better be there for that as well. Anyways, let's talk about the pattern. There's a link down below in the description. There's actually 2 links right there. The first link will take you over to the written information. There's also a table of content in case you want to click that, and then you click on this specific part of the pattern and you're going to jump right to it if you wish to do so, or scroll all the way down. Remember, the free pattern has ads and it's not printable. So if you want a printable version, ad-free of course, then join the Crochet Club. Here are all the amazing features you're going to get in the Crochet Club, one of them being over 500 ad-free crochet patterns and over 600 video tutorials, and we meet up 6 to 7 times monthly for all kinds of things, live tutorials, Zoom chats. We have a blast in the Crochet Club. You can join us as a trial member or as a monthly, quarterly, and annual member. Most of the TCC members, the Crochet Club members, are annual members, but you have a choice and you get access to all of it. Just a trial does not get access to everything. It only gets access to this pattern. So regarding the material list, let's get to it and then we get to the pattern. For the materials, you're going to need a few things. Number 1, you're going to need some polyfill and some plastic eyes. I put all of the links for the material list into the pattern, so make sure you check on that. You know exactly what I used for everything. So regarding the yarn, I'm using Ella Rae Cuddle yarn, which is from Knitting Fever. You can get it at your local store. So if you go to knittingfever.com and go to the Ella Rae Cuddle section, it'll tell you where at your local store you can find it. You can order it online at some of those local stores as well. But I also have some substitution yarns in the material list of the pattern. So if you don't have a local store or you don't want to online shop or something like that, I do have some substitution yarns listed in case you want to use different yarn. They're all going to be chenille super bulky yarn, and I recommend sticking to that with green and brown. Today you're only going to need green, and it doesn't matter which green color it is, so just that you know that. We're also going to use a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook for the entire mystery crochet along, so just that you know. Let's get started with the green yarn and make this super cute, very fast no-sew crochet pattern, and you're going to see at the very end what it's going to be, unless you already checked the written instructions, then you already know. Well, let's get started. Let's crochet 4 limbs, whether it's the arms or the legs, they're all going to be the same. So chain 10. Now you're going to skip the very first chain and start on a second and a third, and we're going to go and make a slip stitch into each. So here will be 1 slip stitch and then the next slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to repeat this section 2 more times. So that means you're going to make a chain of 3, skip the very first chain, go into the second and third, and make a slip stitch. Now I like to go into the back bump, but I know that can be a little bit hard to see with chenille yarn, so you do you. And I'm just going to make here some slip stitches. So there should be 2 slip stitches per finger, toe, whatever you wanted to say it. And we're going to repeat this section here 1 more time. So chain of 3, start from the second chain from the hook, and make a slip stitch into the second and into the third. So now you have your 3 fingers or toes, and now you're going to go into the leftover chain right here, and you're going to crochet 1 slip stitch into each. And once you're done with that, you're going to snip your yarn. You need a little bit of a yarn end tail there. We're going to use it to make some ties later in order to connect it to the actual body. Because remember, we're not doing any sewing. If we're using a needle, it's going to be for either weaving or for embroidery, like, you know, adding a mouth or something like that. So here we go. I have my very first one done. So let me show you. I'm making a slip knot, and I'm going to cut my yarn like so, and I'm going to pull this out. Pull it out gently, because sometimes you have some fluff coming off. And once you're done, you're going to have 4 of these. Okay, so it will be here 1, 2, 3, and 4, like so. And we're now going to start on the body, and we're going to use them as we go, and we're either going to tie them up or we're going to crochet with them at the same time, which I'll show you when we get to it. So let's get started on the body. You're going to make a chain of 9, and now we're going to start from the second chain from the hook. And as I said before, I like to go in a back bump. So if you're looking at your chains, I know it may be hard to see with chenille yarn, but this would be the front loop, this would be the back loop, and if you turn it around, you're going to see a back bump. And that's where I like to go into, because we're going to go back around on the other side of the chain later. So start from the second chain from the hook, and you're going to crochet 1 single crochet per chain. So by the end, you should have 8 single crochets in that row, but we're going to turn it into rounds. So we're going to go a little bit further. So first, let's make the single crochets on this side, and it's going to look like this. And now we're going to work on the other side of the chain, so that way we're going to go into rounds. So you're going to turn it pretty much 180 degrees, you know, horizontally, and we're going to go on the other side of the chain, and you're pretty much going to go through both loops, because if you went to the back bump, then you have the front and the back loop left over. So and that's where we're going to go into. And you can weave in here your yarn end at the same time. So here we go. I'm going to go into each of the chains that I have on the other side, and I'm going to crochet 1 single crochet per chain. So that means now that we turned this row into rounds, we're going to end up with 16 stitches by the end. And then we're going to go into the next round. So this is how it's going to look like right now. And we're going to now go into the next round. And I highly recommend using a stitch marker or something to make sure that you can mark the beginning of every round. We're now going to do some increases. We're going to go into the next round by doing 1 single crochet in the first stitch. And remember, that's where we're going to add our stitch marker. So I highly recommend you do so, because that way you know exactly when the first stitch is for every round. So 1 stitch. And then into the next stitch, you're going to crochet 2 single crochet stitches. Now you're going to repeat that. 1 single crochet stitch, and then 2 single crochet stitches. You're going to do this all the way around until the end of the round, pretty much until you hit your stitch marker again. So let me finish that, and then we'll go to the following round. Once you're done, it's going to look like this. You're going to remove your stitch marker, because you're now going to go into the next round. In the next round, we're going to do 1 single crochet in 2 stitches. Remember to add your stitch marker back, so you know when your first stitch is. So it would be 1 stitch here, then the next stitch is also 1 single crochet, and then the following is going to be 2 single crochet stitches. Then you're going to repeat that. 1, 1, and 2 single crochet stitches. You do this all the way around until the end, and then we're going to go into the next round. All right, at this stage, it's going to look like this. I recommend adding your legs now versus later. That way you're done with it and you can see everything a little bit better. You can do it a little later too if you want to, but I'm going to do it now. So you're going to take 2 of your legs and you're going to need a needle. We're not sewing, we're pulling our loops through to the other side and making a knot. So that's what we're doing. So you're going to take one of the legs here for now, and right here at the point where you see it kind of like poking out. So you're going to see it like this, right? This is kind of the bottom pieces of it, and that's where you want your legs to be. So you have one here and then one there. So I'm going to push this one through here. And then I make sure that the other one is just slightly over. So obviously not going through the same spot, but just a hint over. So that way I can tie it on the other side and it's not gonna like come undone or anything. So I'm just gonna go over a little bit. I don't know if you can see, this one went in here and I'm gonna go over just a tad like so. And I'm gonna pull this through on the other side to make sure everything is nice and neat. And now I'm just gonna tie it up. Make a knot like so, make a nice knot. I'll make a double knot. You can even make a triple knot if you like. And then you can snip your yarn a little shorter. I don't snip it all the way. I just make it just a hint shorter because this is going to be part of the polyfill anyway, so it doesn't matter. You don't even have to weave that part in. So now you have one leg done. So now you just have to do it on the other side. And now it's going to look like this. So we have our legs attached. And we're now going to keep going, and we're going to now do 2 rounds of just single crochet stitches. So you're going to remove your stitch marker and you're going to make your very first stitch and you're going to add your stitch marker back. And now we're just going to do 2 rounds of just single crochet stitches. There's no increases or decreases, so it's literally just 1 stitch per stitch. So do this for 2 rounds, so that would be round 4 and 5. And then I'll meet you back here afterwards for some decreases. All right, so far it's going to look like this after you're done with your 2 additional rounds. And we're going to go into round 6, and there we're going to do some decreases. So you're going to make your very first single crochet stitch and you're going to add your stitch marker back. And we're going to do 1 more single crochet stitch. And now we're going to do a decrease. So you're going to go through the front loops of 2 stitches. So it's going to look like this. So there's 1 front loop and then there's another front loop, yarn over and pull through, and yarn over, pull through. So you're pretty much going through 2 front loops and then making a single crochet over. So that's your decrease. It's an invisible single crochet decrease. Now you're going to repeat this. So 1 and 1, that means 2 single crochets in a row, 1 in each, and then again a decrease. So go through 2 front loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's your decrease. And again, 1 single crochet stitch, 1 single crochet stitch, and a decrease. And you're going to do this until the end of the round. And then we're going to do 1 more round of decreases. All right, we're going into the following round, and we're going to do 1 single crochet stitch, and again add your stitch marker back, and then a decrease afterwards. So again, the same way, go through 2 front loops, so 1 from each stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Then again, 1 single crochet stitch and a decrease. So this is the invisible single crochet decrease that I'm doing, and that is great for amigurumi because it kind of hides that there is a decrease. It does make it a little harder to see when you need to figure out where your stitches are and things, but it's going to be worth it in the end because there's no polyfill poking through, and it makes it a very clean product in the end. So do this until the end, and then we're going to go into a few more rounds of just single crochet stitches. In the next round, we're going to crochet 1 single crochet per stitch, and we're going to do this actually for 3 rounds. So rounds 8 through 10, it's just going to be single crochet stitches, but in this round, you're going to add your arms. It's up to you though, if you want to do it like me, you're going to crochet with it, or you're going to tie it on later, just like the way we did with the legs. You can do the exact same technique for the arms if you prefer, or I'm going to show you how to do it with crochet. Okay, so for crochet it would be as simple as wherever the side is now, so you're going to have to look at your project. You can kind of flatten it out and see. So one arm would be here and then one arm would be here. So depending on your tension, that amount of stitches in between might be slightly different. So I'm just going to tell you, if you make it flat, your arms are going to be right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Mine is like right here on the side. So this is where I'm going into. The very first stitch is going to have my arm. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go through the very last slip stitch that I had made right here. I'm going to go through that, like literally through. So if you're going to look at your stitch, right, here's my slip stitch right here. I'm going to go right through it, and I'm going to let my yarn kind of dangle in here and kind of hide it inside. So you went through with your hook through your last slip stitch that you made for your arm, and now you're going to go into the first stitch right here. So this would be the stitch, yarn over, pull through and pull through, and you're going to make your single crochet stitch. So here you're going to have to pull some of that yarn a little bit so it doesn't bother you. And then here's my single crochet stitch, and I'm going to add my stitch marker back like here. So pretty much the arm is just kind of in between. You're still making a single crochet stitch, you're just adding the arm kind of in between here. If it dangles around for you too much, you can use it again on the next stitch and also kind of attach to it, but I think mine is pretty good. I'm just going to go into the next stitch as normal, and because I kind of want to use my arm a little bit and let it move. So I'm going to go all the way around, but again, I'm going to stop here on that side and going to add my other arm into it. As I mentioned before, you can do the exact same technique as we did for the legs, or you're going to do this technique here for the arms, and you're going to just crochet it into it. So here again, this is kind of where I am. I have to look here which stitch I'm going to pick. It's either going to be this one or this one. I'm going to look here on which side it is. If it's more on the left side, I'm going to do the one that's closer to the front. So this is going to be my front. So I'm going to add it into right here. So again, I'm going to take my arm, kind of take the leftover yarns, just tuck them in. And you're going to go through the last stitch that you had made here, the last slip stitch. Just go through it and go into your stitch on your body. Pull your yarn through, all the way through. You're going to pull your yarn here a little bit. That's your yarn ends. Just pull them a little bit so they don't dangle around. And then make your single crochet right over. And now you're going to continue crocheting all the way around. So you're going to do 2 more rounds of just single crochet stitches. However, I'm going to stop here for a second, and what I like to do is kind of make a knot here just to extra secure it so nothing comes undone. So I'm going to take one of my yarn ends here and going to weave it just 1 stitch over so it's, you know, away from the other one, and that way I can make a knot and then snip it so nothing comes undone. Again, you have 2 different ways attaching these. I'll do this for both sides, and then I'm going to continue my single crochet stitches. And as I said, we're going to do 2 more rounds of just single crochet stitches, nothing else. So I'll see you back here after that. All right, we're now going to crochet some double crochet stitches, kind of like a puff stitch right here on the back and on the back, and that's kind of where the eyes are going to be. So you want to make sure though everything is even. So even if the pattern says it's slightly different, I kind of want you to look at your project. Sometimes we have to make adjustments because your tension may be different than mine, or you may have skipped a stitch by accident or something like that. So double check. So this is how it's going to look like flat. Okay, so you want your eyes to be right here. Okay, so I'm going to have here 1 extra stitch. So the very first round is going to start with 1 single crochet stitch. So 1 single, and I'm going to add my stitch marker back because I want to make sure I know exactly where I started. So 1 single crochet stitch, and now we're going to do 5 double crochets together in the same stitch. So here's going to be 1, and look, I'm not finishing that stitch. Okay, then the second, the third, the fourth, and 1 more, the 5th. Okay, now we're going to go through all So that should be 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all, and make a chain of 1 to kind of secure it. And now you're going to go into the next stitch and you're going to crochet 1 single crochet stitch until you hit this stitch right here. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. And now we're going to do what we did over here one more time right here. It's going to be 5 unfinished double crochet stitches. So this is the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. Okay, you have 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all, chain of 1, and you're going to go into the next stitch. There's going to be 1 single crochet stitch, and now if you're going to hold it like this, you're going to see now that you're on the back. And we're going to repeat this exact same thing here one more time. So there is 1 single crochet between this eye and the back side. So you made 1 single crochet after that puff, and we're going to do another puff. So right here, so there's going to be 5 unfinished double crochet stitches. So this is 4, and you have 1 more like so. You have 6 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all, chain 1. Now we're going to do 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and there should be 1 stitch left over, and again that's going to be a puff the same way as we've done before. So 5 of these double crochet stitches, well, unfinished ones, and then yarn over, pull through all, chain 1. So at this point I recommend stopping because you need to add your eyes now. So let's do that. You can use bigger or smaller, it's up to you. And what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze it through. So this might be a little bit hard because, you know, this is a puff after all. So you're going to have to kind of push it through there. And you're going to take your backing right there and you're going to push it against it. So really make sure it's in it. It's going to look like this. So really push it through to make sure everything holds nice in place. You can even add some like hot glue over or something if you're worried about it coming undone or something. This is how it's going to look like. And you're going to do this exact same thing on the other side. So kind of right in the center there evenly, and make sure that your backing holds. So, you know, sometimes you have to double check on your backing. Not all backings are made even. So really push it through until it holds like this. And you can adjust it there a little bit, and your eyes are done. And now we need to stuff it and slip stitch it over. So let's do that. Let me stuff mine. All right, I stuffed mine. So you kind of want it to be a little bit coming out so you know you stuffed it well. You can always stuff a little bit more. And now what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch over. So what I like to do is go slip stitch to that first single crochet I made, just that I have a starting point and I don't have any gaps or anything. So we're going to take my loop and I'm going to go over here to the very first one and make a slip stitch into it. And now I have a starting point, and now all I have to do is slip stitch over. So you're just going to go evenly. It doesn't have to be like perfect, but the idea is that you're going through these stitches and you're going to make some slip stitches. So as many as you need it to be. And you can kind of like wiggle around and see where there's like a little, you know, room to put a slip stitch into. So you may make a few extras on the eyes just so that there's everything nice and clean. So right here's another slip stitch, and then now I'm going to go down here. So there's 5 of them over here, so that should be easy to do. Just slip stitch those over. And if you feel like you want to add more stuffing, you can at this stage. You have a little bit of room to add more. And then once you're at the other eye, you're going to do the same thing as in the first eye. You kind of, you know, try to find a good position to add your slip stitches over to make sure everything looks nice and clean. And you're going to go all the way to the other side so that everything is closed. And at this point, all you have to do is, you know, wiggle your eyes a little bit around to make sure they're nice and popping, and weave this in. So let's weave that in together, and then we're going to add the mouth. So here we go. I'm going to take my yarn and put it on my needle, and all you're doing is weaving it in. So I'm going to pull this through like so. And what I like to do is kind of go in and out of my stitches, and I like to go back in where I came from. So my idea is that not that I'm connecting this yarn end with the crochet, but rather I am weaving it through the poly fillets on the inside to hold my yarn in place so nothing comes undone. So just going to weave this through, and if I did it a few different times, it should be good. Then I'm going to snip this, and we're good. So now all we have to do is take a little bit of black yarn. I'm sure you have some. I didn't mention it earlier, but I assume you have some. You're going to come from the back right here at one point, so whichever where you want it to be. And you're going to come out kind of like here, you know, wherever you want it to be, wherever you want your mouth to be, but I want it to be right here. And I'm not going to pull too much through, so I have some yarn end here in the back. And I'm going to go evenly on the other side, so about here. And mine is going to have a little bit of a smile, a tiny bit of a smile. So there's 3 points right here, here. These are even. Like, look at the eyes to make sure they're even. And then right in the center of it, just a tad down. You see, it's almost like a 3-point, like a triangle almost, right? You're going to come this way. You see how there's a line? You could leave it as a line if you wanted to, and you just put this one in the back. If you wanted to look grumpy, you can make it look grumpy. Or I like to make it just a tiny bit of a smile, so I weave this through because it was in the center like this. And now I'm going to push it exact same spot where it came from. Do you see where it came from? So this is pushed underneath that loop, right? This one. And now it's kind of going over it, so it's almost like a loop. I'm going back in where it came from, and I'm going to come back out the exact same spot, not next to it or anything, exact same spot. You need to make sure it's the same spot because we want to be able to hide that yarn. If it's not, if it's going through 2 different areas, then you're going to see the black in the end. You want to come out the exact same spot, okay? So I'm going to pull this through and make adjustments here to make my mouth look even and cute and adorable, like so. And now all you have to do, and here in the back, is to make a knot. Remember, it has to be on the back here. You have to make sure now it's in the exact same spot, so double check that it's coming out of the same spot. You're gonna make a knot, and you're gonna snip it. Now, you can also weave it in first, just like I did with the other yarn, or you're going to take some tweezers and you're going to push it into your polyfill, kind of wiggle it around and adjust everything, and now it's gone and your mouth is there, and now you're done, and you made a cute little no-sew fat leggy froggy, and he is so adorable and he's so cute. He has his legs, you know, wiggling around, and he can sit, as you can see right here. He sits, and he's absolutely adorable and cute. And you can see you have 2 different versions, exactly the same one, just the eyes look a little bit different, right, depending on how you push your eyes in. But you're done with your froggy. I want to see your froggy now. So go take a picture of your froggy. Use this hashtag right here and then post into the Facebook group called Crocheting with Nikki and show us your cute little froggy. I'm showing you here how to post into the Facebook group with the hashtag so you know exactly how to do that. And we would love to see your little froggy so that way we can celebrate you and find you, and of course see all the different cute little froggy creations that you guys are doing with this specific pattern. So you're now done with part 1 of the no-sew mystery crochet along, and you made this cute little quick mystery froggy pattern. So we have 2 more quick patterns coming up for part 2 and 3. So part 2 is coming out in a couple of days, and then part 3 a couple of days later. So in the next time you're going to need both the brown and the green, so be ready for that. In the meantime, finish your froggy. You can make many more if you like, but I would hold off first because you don't know how much yarn you're going to use for the other 2, and then you can always make more. So remember to answer the question I'm about to ask you, and that way you can have a chance to win something at the very end. That's one of your giveaways, right? So you need to make sure that you answer this question as well as the other questions in the other videos that are coming up. My question for you today is that you need to answer in the comments down below so that you can qualify for the giveaway is, how did you attach your limbs? Did you do it the knotting way, the way I showed you for the legs? Or did you do it the way I showed you for the arms by crocheting over? Or did you do both the way I did? I did both. I knotted down here and I crocheted over here. I want you to remember this amazing technique to be able to do no-sew in one specific way. There's other ways to do no-sew, but that is two of the many ways to do no-sew. Now, I want to know from you, which version did you do? Did you do both? Did you knot and crochet? Or did you do both knotting? I want to know. Leave it in the comments and let us know how you finished your froggy and how did you attach your limbs. Now get ready for part 2, which is coming up. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the bell to get a notification next time I publish a video or go live. I'll see you in part 2. Until then.